Hello, hikers. Green Giant here, one of your hosts. If you're listening to this episode on the day it came out, minutes ago, Odie of Hiker Yearbook fame just finished giving his rousing kickoff to the kickoff. He gave his welcome speech at the kickoff. We were lucky enough to be here and capture the audio for it. I am going to try to get this up on the feed as quickly as possible. If you're listening to this on the night the episode dropped, this recording was made just minutes ago. It is Friday night, March 1st, Amicalola Falls, Appalachian Trail Kickoff 2019. This is Odie. Enjoy. This is Stories from the Trail.
You'll have to send me those. My magic works through you. All right. You ready?
Oh,
you already?
yeah. Josh came in here.
Oh, really?
The one time we
You're late, dude.
I gotta do this. I gotta do this barefooted. All right, so we're all in. We're good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
You are royalty. Everything the light touches, from Georgia to Maine, both on trail and off, is yours. 1921, Benton Mackay dreamed of your kingdom. 1925, the ATC was formed. 1931, Myron Avery was elected, chosen to lead, and served 7 consecutive terms as the ATC chair. 1937, footpath complete. Maine to Georgia, Benton Mackay's dream became your reality. You are royalty. 1937 was a good year for the AT. The following year, a storm was brewing. It was twisting and turning in the Atlantic Ocean. A hurricane slammed the New England section of trail. 1941, Pearl Harbor was bombed, bringing America into the worst war that the world had ever seen. Most of those who served on the trail clubs up and down the trail and for the ATC, including Myron Avery himself, had to leave their post and go and fight in that war. The trail was suffocating. 1948, Earl Schaefer stood at one end of the trail and he said, "I'm going to hike to the other end of the trail," and they said it couldn't be done. And in the shape that the trail was in, it probably shouldn't be done. But Earl Schaefer said, "I'm going to walk off that war." And then he did it, becoming the first person crowned Appalachian Trail through hiker. Earl Schaefer passed his crown down to Gene Espy, further down the line to Grandma Gatewood, all the way down the line through history to the moment that you set foot on this trail and said, "I'm going to hike from here all the way to there." It was in that moment that a crown was placed on your heads. I pray that you lead with the grace of leave no trace. I pray that you rule with the authority to enforce in-town hiker etiquette, because I tell you that if a hiker is disrespecting the trail or a trail town, that hiker is disrespecting the crown. Use your authority. You are royalty. Walk your kingdom humbly. Learn its history and be its royalty. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. So my name is Odie, and every year I get to give that speech staying on top of my school bus to a crowd of current Appalachian Trail thru hikers. I'll have about 300 to 500 hikers in front of me in Damascus, and I give that speech, and the people that I'm looking at gathered in front of me are literally the representation of the hiking community. They're the ones that are out front that everyone's really looking to. But there's a thing that is happening. It's not them. They are generally the most undereducated. They come to the trail probably never doing trail work, more than likely not being a member of the trail clubs, and not even a member of the ATC. But they're the ones that everybody's looking at. So 3 years ago, I was asked to give a talk here, and they said, talk about anything you want. And I said, okay. The hiking community and how we relate to each other through our individual roles. Cool, I used big words. I knew nothing then. I have started the Hiker Yearbook project, and in doing so, I've got an incredible view of the community itself, and I've learned a lot. But back then, what I did in that speech was I took the roles. You have the ATC and the ATC staff, and then the ATC volunteers, and then you have 31 trail clubs. Then you have 31 trail club volunteers, and then you have the trail towns as far as the hostel owners and the shuttle drivers and the people that run the stores, and then you have your volunteers and your maintainers and all of these things, and everybody had their box. But it was so big because that was just the people that related individually coming down to the trail. But then you also had everyone in the online hiking community and everyone that's watching through hikers hike their hike. And then it just goes from there. And anyone that's heard of the trail, that's even Googled the trail. So it just keeps growing and growing. And then I was like, well then, so the hiking community is everyone. So that didn't work. So I started to boil it down. This is my 6th year on this trail, and I'm so blessed, and I appreciate the fact that you guys let me get out here and do this. I love it. Oh my God, do I love it. But I said, who is the hiking community? What is the hiking community? So I decided that I would boil it down to as small a point as I could. So I looked at everyone in their boxes and how they related and where they were in their individual roles. And when it really came down to it, it was the trail. If you have touched or heard about this trail, then you are in the hiking community. So that means you are the hiking community. You're one person. So then let's think about the impact that we have on the trail. What's the impact of one person? Let's boil that down to the minimal, smallest impact that you could possibly make. We're going to take it down to one section of the trail, okay? One step of the trail. And in this one step, from one hiker, we're going to have a stone. This stone, one step, one hiker. Okay. But then the ATC tells us that 4,000 to 5,000 people attempt a thru hike a year, and over 1 million people will visit the Appalachian Trail a year. So now it's one step on one stone 1 million times per year. But then we have to go back to 1937 when the trail was completed. Now it's not 1 million people a year going back to 1937, but let's just we'll throw 10 years of that. We'll say 10 million. So it's 10 million steps on one stone, on one part of one trail. The stone from one step begins to polish, it begins to shape, it begins to crack. One step, that's your smallest impact on this trail, and you're literally breaking the mountains. But now, it's not just today and the past, because what are we working for? Why are we doing the trail clubs and the trail work? Why are we getting involved in the trail communities? It's because we intend for the Appalachian Trail to last forever. So if we're thinking about forever, that it's one step on one stone times 1 million people all the way into the past and then all the way into the future. The mountains are literally breaking from that. That's it. That is the trail community. You are a powerful people. If your one step can literally break the mountain, then how are we ever going to preserve this trail? Well, think about it. What if you gave 1 day instead of one step? What if you joined the trail clubs and you started giving back? what could be your impact then? I forgot to set a timer to know how long I'm supposed to talk to you guys. This could go on for hours. So then let's talk about positive impact. If you were to give one day of trail work, how long would that impact into the future? Has anyone ever hiked the entire trail? All right, so you've come down off of Moosilauke, we're heading north, and you're going up the Kinsmans. Do you remember those stones you were cussing out about halfway up the mountain? Those stones were set in place before the finish of the trail. Those stones are actually older than the trail. So the 20 and 30-year-olds that put those stones in the ground are gone. And still today, their impact, positive impact on the trail is right there. And most of us have walked up it. So whenever you go to give back to the trail, you're giving to future generations. Because we are all one people. The hiking community is a very powerful thing. I've seen miracles happen on this trail, guys, like absolute miracles, my God. I've told stories to people that were not really involved in the hiking community, and they looked at me like I was a liar, and I knew it. Like, they didn't believe it, you know, and why would they, you know? But I've seen it, I know it. So when I see this impact that we can have into future generations, I want to encourage that we do positive impacts, because what if we do a negative impact? How long could the negative impact last? If those stones were put in before the Appalachian Trail and they brought us all the way to today, and we have no idea how long those stones going up the Kinsmans are going to be there, then think about what are the negative impacts of the trail for just one day. I could prove to you that we are all one people, and it can be brought down to one step. Through hiker, section hiker, day hiker. We all have the same last name, Hiker. In years past, I gave actual stories of negative events that happened on the trail, and then people started realizing who those people were. So now I'm going to just take different events that happened and put them into one thing. So we have a hiker, and he comes into town. Okay. He packed out a liquor bottle from the town before, and to celebrate that he only had 8 miles to go, he drank the liquor bottle on the way into town. So he comes into town, and he's falling over drunk, and he's rude to the town's folks, and he goes to the gas station, and goes in the gas station, he complains about the prices. Like, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm a through hiker. Why are you charging me these prices? And then he goes out into the parking lot, and he explodes his gear all over the place. It could also be a her. More than likely it's a her. Okay, it's a guy. More than likely it's a guy. So he explodes his gear all over the ground. He explodes his gear everywhere. It's just a mess, and he's falling over, and he takes a shot of his whiskey, and he puts it back in his backpack because he's a through hiker, and it doesn't matter. And Miss Betty walks in, and she sees this, and then she goes inside the store, and she's like, oh, did you see that hiker? Yeah, that hiker also was complaining about my prices. Oh. So then the hiker gets his stuff all shoved in his pack, and he goes to the hostel. Can I get work for stay? I'm a through hiker. Well, no, we already got a guy for the work for stay, you know, but it's very reasonable. This isn't even nice enough. Oh, okay. And then he explodes his gear again all over the hostel in the common area, and he disrespects the common area. So then the hostel owner is exhausted, and it's a small town, and he goes into town. And now this hostel owner is on your side, right? But guess what he does? When he goes into town and he talks about this incident, he says, a hiker was doing this, and a hiker was doing that. Okay? You notice that they don't say it was a female hiker, it was a male hiker, it was someone with a long beard or a short beard. They were wearing a green shirt. Hiker. They don't even say if it was a section hiker or a through hiker. They say hiker. They're calling you out by your name. We have another hiker. So this hiker leaves town, finally, gone. Another hiker, he's coming in. He's been hiking for 3 days. He's had nothing but water, and he decides, I'd like to go down to the gas station and grab a beer on my way to the hostel to get a shower. And He goes to the gas station and he puts his backpack down in view of himself because he knows he shouldn't carry that in the store. And he goes in and he simply buys a beer. Now, he doesn't realize that it's 10 o'clock in the morning because it's either daytime or nighttime. It doesn't matter, right? So he grabs a beer and he walks up to the gas station attendant and he's like, hey, man, how you doing? Lovely town, just checking in and stuff. And he goes to leave, and here comes Betty walking in. And he opens the door for Betty. Like, hey, Betty, how are you? And he doesn't know her by name, but, how are you? And she walks by. She walks up to the counter and she says, oh, did you see that hiker with a beer in his hand? Here we go again. And then the hiker goes outside and he doesn't want to drink the beer there, so he goes, puts it in his backpack, and he goes to the hostel and he takes his shower and he does his laundry and he does all of these things, but then Betty's talking about how he's drinking in town. And so what can we do then? That's our name. They're calling us by name when they say these things. Positive impact and negative impact are just as impactful. And you know what we have? We have the power of numbers. One step on one stone can cause that stone to be polished, shaped, and broken. So when you're going into town, you're respectful to everyone. They have church events, you go to them, you show up, you're appreciative, you're clean, you're considerate. Next thing you know, they still call you by name, but they say, hey, did you see that hiker that was cleaning up the street on those way into town? Oh yeah, this other hiker actually, Betty was mowing her yard, and he was like, hey, I'm taking a 0 day and I just can't stand it anymore. Can I please mow your yard? It's amazing what free labor you can get out of hikers. I've told townsfolk, like, did you know that 2 months a year you would never have to mow your yard as long as you put a sign up that said free meal after the yard is mowed? It would be maintained. Got the yard cut 6 times last week. But they don't change the name. They can change the story, but they won't change the name, because that's us. It's one person. It doesn't matter if it's them. It doesn't matter if it's the people behind or people ahead or the party bubble. It doesn't matter. It's our name. The only thing you have on your side is the power of numbers. And I do believe that the majority of the hiking community is definitely creating a positive impact. Why do I think that? Because the trail is still a connected footpath from Georgia to Maine since 1937. Okay? It's there. It hasn't fallen apart yet. Even World War II, we survived that because we are a powerful people. This trail has saved people from drug addiction, broken homes, lost jobs. People have thought to themselves, I'm either going to commit suicide or hike the Appalachian Trail. I'm not kidding you. There have been people that have literally done that. I will trash my life. I'm going to go hike this trail, and if that doesn't work, that's the point some of these people are in the mindset of. One thing that we brag about in this community is how welcoming we are. And we are. We're very, very welcoming. But see, the problem is that we just don't really know our impact. We're not really understanding yet, because we always say they. We always say them when it's a negative thing. But it's a positive thing, it's us. We did trail work, or we did trail magic to assist hikers and things like that, or we're a positive impact, but they trashed the fire pits. They are disrespectful in town. It's never us. Now, with doing the Hiker Yearbook, I've gotten to see the hiking community as like this group, and I got to see like how we're all together. So then I'm watching the hiking community, and they're all going, they trashed the shelters, or they are leaving their micro trash, or they are not hanging their bear bags. I even do that, like they, But then I'm looking at this and I'm like, everyone's going they. And it's like, but there's no one over there. It's us. Like, it's literally us pointing at them. It's like, do you see them in the room with you right now? Or do you hear them and nobody else hears them? So maybe if we changed our language and started to accept that. I trashed the fire pit. You know what that does? it gives me a responsibility. If I'm the one that did it, then I am now responsible for undoing it or correcting it. I trashed the fire pit. I now have an ability to respond. My responsibility is to clean the fire pit. Each and every one of us, if it's positive or if it's negative, it doesn't matter. They're going to call us by the same name. So quit saying they. Quit blaming them because they're not even here. It is you. It's your foot on that stone every single time. What was that, like 5 minutes?
21.
What was my next story I was going to tell? As far as being connected into the communities, I'm very confused by the fact of how many people here are ATC members? Okay? So how many people here are not ATC members? All right. So that's like the top level, right? Is the ATC thing. So like the ATC membership, I don't understand why the ATC booth isn't like just ran over with people that are spending the $35 a year. Am I wrong on that price? Anyone? Does anyone know? 30-ish. Yeah, so it's 30 a year. And by the way, if you do this at Trail Days, you get a free T-shirt. That's what I do. I always give the T-shirt away. I never keep it, but somewhere I have a collection. So yeah, join the ATC. It's simple. It's not like they're going to call you to do trail work, but it makes you more available to do it. There are 31 trail clubs that start right here and go all the way to Katahdin. Where the first trail club ends, the next one begins. You see how that works? So we have 31 trail clubs. Figure out where you are and join that club. Get involved. We have the power of numbers, but they're not really on the paper. So if you can't give your time, give your money. If you can't give your money, give your time. And if you can give both, then screw you. I got at least one of those. Tons of time. So you have the ATC, the 31 trail clubs, and then you have ALDA, Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association. Yeah, ALDA is $10. So I'm an ALDA member. Is anyone in here also ALDA members? All right, so it's $10 to become an ALDA member. That is an amazing club? What? Organization? Association? Group. They're an amazing group. I like words. But it's $10. They're here. I highly recommend joining ALDA. We have the power of numbers. It's one step on one stone is polishing the stones on the trail. So what if every single person here that was not an ALDA member immediately went to that booth and said, hey, here's my $10, I want to be an ALDA member. Why? I don't know yet. You tell me. But, yes?
For $15, you can get their big book that has a map of the entire trail that you can microwave the pages and shrink them down.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Wait a minute. You can microwave the pages.
You microwave it and you pull the page out. The glue gets on.
Okay, so she's saying that you can... If you microwave the pages, it makes the trail shorter. Okay. All right, so these are our big groups, right? So these are our show of force things. You should be an Appalachian Trail Conservancy member. That's just like step one. If is there one person here that says, I don't have the $35 because I will actually sign you up? Is there anyone? The Hiker Yearbook will pay for you. No? Sir? Okay, then everyone's going to sign up. Sweet. They're going to love me.
I want a t-shirt.
You got to go to T-shirts, so that's Trail Days.
Okay.
But Trail Days is the weekend after Mother's Day. So on Mother's Day, call your mom and ask her for the money to get to Trail Days. It is in Damascus, Virginia, every year. And that's where, like the speech that I gave in the beginning that I sent on my bus. Y'all can come watch that if you want, but y'all have to watch in the back because I want the current trail hikers in front of me. But
so it should be like the 17th and the 18th?
the 17th and 18th. That's trail days.
It starts on Friday, Saturday?
Right.
Thursday. Oh,
What?
Thursday.
Starts Thursday.
Tent City opens.
Oh, Tent City starts on Thursday. Yeah.
Unofficially, it started yesterday.
But that's what we're here for, right? We're here to present the trail to the hikers of 2019. Like, this is our like party to say, hey, look what we've done. Look at the work that we've done to have this trail to be a continuous footpath from Maine to Georgia. Sorry to make some of y'all mad, but it does. It goes from Maine to Georgia. Seasonal-wise, it's better to hike, obviously, from Georgia to Maine. And if you can read a map, Georgia to Maine, the AWOL guide tells you, well, no, the AWOL makes both, so I guess you can go either way. Never mind. You can go either way, Georgia to Maine, Maine to Georgia. I probably should have figured that out before this talk. All right, how long was that?
25 minutes.
You don't have to take up the whole hour.
I truly do believe that we have a power as a community to make this trail last forever. But if we're going to do that, like, we need more involvement. We need more push. They did a huge trail project in Bear Mountain, Bear Mountain, New York. It was the New York, New Jersey Trail Club. It took 15 years for this project. Basically, they hardscaped the trail by putting in stones to protect. Because remember what I said, 1 foot, 1 stone, forever. Those stones are breaking, but they're doing their best. What else are you going to use? Diamonds. Oh, I just thought about that. Okay. So, for 15 years, they've been working on putting the hardscape going up to the top of Bear Mountain. It was 11 years of in the dirt. Now, why would you give 15 years to something? It's because we want it to last forever. And here's something really cool about that project. So what happened was the hikers are going up Bear Mountain. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Blood Mountain. I really want to hike Blood Mountain. It's like right there. Okay, so the hikers are going up Bear Mountain, and there's erosion and things like that. So then they move the trail over here. So then the same problem, right? We have erosion coming and stuff like that. So then they move the trail over here. And it's like they just kept moving the trail over the years because of the damage that we were causing by literally just walking up it. So when they did this 15-year-long project, 11 years in the dirt, they brought the trail that had been moved back to its original position where it was in 1937 when the trail was completed. How cool is that? It's like we reclaimed that side of the mountain. Like that was done last year. That was a 15-year project. The New York, New Jersey Trail Club, something about a coalition. Oh, I wish Mo was here. He could like tell me all kinds of stuff. It's Hiker Storm. He's amazing up there. But that's the kind of thing that we're working on. And how proud would you be 30 years from now to walk up Bear Mountain and say, I laid that stone? What would that be? What do you think it would be for your children to walk up 60 years from now and say, my parents laid the stone? How cool would it be 100 years from now? My grandfather that I never met way back in the day laid this stone. That's the kind of thing, that's the kind of impact that we can have as a community. We can give this to our children's children's children as long as we give back. Because if all you're doing is hiking this trail, then more than likely all you're doing is tearing the mountains apart. Now, I want to talk about something, and there's just no good way to do it. There's no way. I worked on this like really hard. I gave like 30 minutes into prep work for this hour-long speech. In 2013, after I had thru-hiked the trail, in the winter of 2013, there was a hiker. His name was Shady, and in the winter, he killed himself. Okay, and that was really hard on our class. It was really hard that one of our family, one of our tramley, had killed themselves. Okay, So then we started the Hiker Yearbook project, and it was a really cool thing, and I got to see the following class hikers throughout the year, and I got to really know them, and really, they were just amazing people. But so in 2014, we had another hiker who killed himself. And then in 2015, there's a hiker in here who killed himself. In 2016, we had a hiker who killed themselves. 2017, there were two. They killed themselves. In 2018, his name was Passenger. He was from Germany, and he killed himself. I don't know what to say, and I don't even know why I wanted to say it, because I don't have an answer. But I didn't want to miss this opportunity to say, hey guys, we brag about how welcoming we are, right? We talk about it. We pride ourselves in it. That all they have to do is reach out, and maybe that's not enough, but I met Passenger, and I met Shady. And a couple of the other ones throughout the years, I knew of them. And so I don't have an answer, and I didn't bring this up to like talk down on any of us, except to say that if we don't admit that we have a problem with social and psychological and other things in this community, then we're lying to ourselves, because it's not true for them. And it's happening every single year. We haven't had a year yet where we made it through the winter where one of our long-distance hikers has not taken their own lives. And I have some theories. I think, that a lot of people come from broken situations and things like that, and then they come out to the trail, and there's so much healing, and there's so much welcomingness, and it's a wonderful thing, but they go home, and their problems waited for them, and the loneliness sets in, and maybe if we came together as a community and thought about this a little more, maybe we could come up with a solution. So I just didn't want this opportunity to pass without trying to plant a seed and say that we have a problem. And I don't know what the solution is, but let's think about that as a community. If y'all could talk about that, if y'all could bring this up, if y'all could make this known, I think that I know. I know that we can fix this. So anyway, sorry, because I just really wanted to push that into this.
Is Tom here this weekend?
Tom Kennedy from Hiker Mental Health, he is not. He has started his work at Top of Georgia Hostel. Yeah. There's Hike for Mental Health. Now, reaching out to Hike, I love Hike for Mental Health. Hike for Mental Health is a nonprofit, and they give 100% of the money they raise to mental health research and the trail maintenance, or the ATC and the PCTA. They get a percentage, and then the rest goes into. But they are not a counseling service. And a lot of people do reach out to them, but they'll send you to other people. Yes.
I'm also hiking for mental health because I suffer from PTSD from Afghanistan and frontal temporal dementia.
And your family, we love you.
So,
Thank you.
But you're talking about like post-trail depression and doing and having.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But the symptoms seem to, the suicides are coming every single winter. In 2016, there were two. This year, Passenger, he was from Germany. So I just wanted to plant that seed because I believe in you guys, and I believe in us, and I think that we can do something. I think we can, I don't know, but I think we could do something, so I wanted to say something. Just give me a second. I want to tell you about the most beautiful thing I ever heard on the Appalachian Trail. I'm confident to tell this story because I heard this directly from the hiker himself. I was sitting on the porch of Crazy Larry's, and how we got there was a confirmation of this miracle, and I'll get to that later. This guy was sitting there, a boy really, and he said to me, yeah, in Franklin, North Carolina, me and two of my friends, we decided we were going to go to the Appalachian Trail. He had never heard of the Appalachian Trail. Like, he didn't know where it came from or where it went. He had never heard anything or knew anyone about this trail. But him and two of his friends decided to go there that day with the intention of doing heroin. Yeah. It's not really a social drug, I guess. So they went there, Franklin, North Carolina, with the intention to do heroin. And these 5 hikers, they come walking up. And they started talking to him. And he got really interested in what they were saying and the way they looked. And he said, well, you mean you walked 100 miles to get to here? Yeah. Well, where did you sleep? We slept in shelters. Oh, I know what shelters are, like in the down, like for homeless people and stuff. Well, no. They're, yes. Actually. Well, what about food, Well, you go into town every couple of days and you get food. And, well, I mean, I don't have a lot of money. Oh, there's hiker boxes and stuff, too. You could get a little bit of, there's ways to do this trail, And he's like, oh, man, like, it's really cool, So the 5 hikers go hiking on, right? And they come to a stone. The first one walks across the stone. The second one. The third one steps on the stone. The fourth one and the fifth one steps on the stone. And then he comes running up from behind. And he says, wait. Can I go with you? Can I walk with you to the next town? And of course they looked at him and said, well, I mean, you don't have a backpack. You don't have a sleeping bag. You don't have a sleeping pad. You have no food or any way to filter water. Dear God, you're wearing blue jeans.
You're right.
He said, I came out here to do heroin. And if I go back there, that's what I'm going to do. But you guys said that I could walk to this next town. And they said, follow us. And he stepped on that stone. We saved his life. We did that. In 1921, Benton Mackay presented his dream of a utopia to the world. In 1925, the ATC was formed. In 1937, the trail was complete. In 1968, we got the National Trail System Act. In 1978, the authority for the trail, the funding actually for the trail corridor. So you have the trail, right? Trail corridor is 1,000-foot wide, basically. So it's protected. So we have the trail and the trail corridor. That happened in 1978. It took every single person that has ever done trail work. It took every single member of the ATC. It took every single one of you living this trail experience so that he could step on that stone. And he told me this story 300 miles later wearing some cut off, torn up blue jeans.
He was still hiking?
Yes.
Awesome.
We did that. One step on one stone saved that boy's life. Now, let me tell you how he got to Crazy Larry's just to confirm this miracle. Crazy Larry gets a phone call. I'm going to do my best Crazy Larry voice. Crazy Larry's. Yes, sir. My son, he's going to be coming into your town. He might have come yesterday. He could come today. I don't know. It could be tomorrow. But I would like to pay for him to stay at your hostel for a couple of days. And I'd also like to give you some money so that you could get him some food. And I'm going to come. I'll be there. I'll be there in 2 days. All right. Yeah. What's his trail name? What's a trail name? Well, everybody. All right. Well, anyway, what time's he going to be here? Well, I don't know. He doesn't know that I'm doing this. I just know because he left this other town at this time and he's hiking, and then these other people told me. So he's probably was there yesterday, but it might be today, but it could be tomorrow. And I don't know. But if you could find my son, his name, we're just going to go with John Doe, but his name is John Doe. If you could find him, and please just let him stay at your hostel. I'll give you money on the phone right now. Please. I mean, sir, you don't know his trail name. You don't know when he was coming. He doesn't know to even come. I mean, you just want me to walk around Damascus and look for him? Yes.
I'll give you money.
Hold on. Somebody's knocking on the door. He opens the door. Kid's standing there and he says, Sir, can I go through your hiker box? I see it up here on the front porch. Well, yeah, that's why it's on the front porch. Do you know a hiker by the name of John Doe? Yes, sir, that's me. Sir, your son. Okay? One step on one stone. You are a powerful people. We are a powerful people. We're here at the Appalachian Trail Kickoff Festival at Amicaloa Falls to present all of our work that we have done, going all the way back to 1937, technically 1921. We should be proud. We should be a very proud people. The trail club should be like turning people down, like, hey, like they should try to keep it secret. Oh, we're doing trail work this weekend. Oh, crap, we got 200 people here. I don't know why it's not like that, but the reason that I think that I don't know why it's not like that is because I am blessed to see this community in that way. That's one of the miracles that I've seen. You know, that's one, and I've seen a lot. It saved me too. I believe it can save you, and I know that it can save someone else. So it's worth it. It's worth it to preserve the natural landscape of the Appalachian Trail Mountains. It's worth it to have the hiking community that we have. But for someone, it's worth it because it's going to save their lives. We are not a small part. We are the hiking community. You. When you go into town and they talk about you, they're going to call you by my name. They're going to call me by your name. That's the hiking community. It's you. It's your choices. It's your impact. It has been an honor to give this and welcome you guys to the Appalachian Trail Kickoff Festival for the Amicaloa Falls State Park 2019 Hikers Hike. Yeah! Does anybody know if Miss Janet is here?
She's 25 minutes away, and you have to cross
Miss Janet will be talking in 25 minutes. Thank you guys. I love you. Hikers Hike, hikeryearbook.com.